Yo, so listen, not gonna be on here live, so I'm just gonna start talking and whoever pops up because I'm headed into the gym. But when people ask you how you're doing, do they really care to know? I've like over the last couple of days, I've like ran into people where it's like I legitimately asked them like, "How are you doing?" And they're not doing great, but they be like, "Yeah, oh, I'm doing good." So like, is that like a common phrase now? Like you ask people how they're doing, and they just kind of is it because they don't think you care, or is it because it's just common to say, "I'm doing good"? I don't know that's weird. Like I think if we're gonna, that's weird. Yep. Okay. So I'm not. It's Brandon. Are you saying it's common? Oh, okay. So they don't take you seriously. They don't think like when you say how you doing. They don't like when you, even like when you're staring at them in the eyeballs, going like, how you doing? That's still like not enough, not sincere enough. Is that not? I don't know, y'all. I'm like so. It's happened to me like a couple of times. This week where like I'll literally be like looking at somebody, or I'll see them and I'll be like, "How you doing?" So like, okay, so can you guys help me out? Give me a better question. Because when I ask people like how they're doing, I don't really mean for like, if you're not doing good, like I want you to be like, "I'm not doing great." Like, don't be like, "Oh, I'm doing fine," and I'm like looking at you and I'm like, "I can tell you're not doing great." Like, give me a better question. Like, tell me how you feel. That sounds like I'm therapeutic. I'm just so lost. I just want I don't know. Like, what up, Chelsea? I don't know. Like, is it because we think people don't care, or is it that we just don't care to share? It's a really great question. Just kind of taken back by this for the last like couple of days. Like, I call people and I'm like, "How are you doing?" Like, legitimately, like, "How are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm doing good." And then as the conversation like further along, it's like, "No, I'm not." And I was like, "But that's what I asked you at the beginning. Like, why did it take me 20 minutes to like keep digging for you to say like I'm not doing great?" Right. So I got to be like for real. But what happens when you do care? Like, what happens when you really like, or when you're okay, so like if I'm calling you like and I'm saying to you like, "Hey," I call you, pick up the phone. "What's up, man? What's up? How you doing?" Like, the tone in my voice. "What's up, T?" The tone in my voice is I'm legitimately wanting to know like how you're doing. Like, okay, so let me get to a up question. The up question is, what is a better way to ask that question when you really want to know how people are doing? Because I think we've become so common with the phrase of like "how you're doing" that like people will lie to you like straight to your face. And it's like, I don't know if they don't mean to lie. I don't know if they mean to lie or not. Okay, good point. So they might not trust me. Okay, I can see that, Chelsea. That's a good point. What's good, Chris? Okay, they might not trust me or trust the other person. I won't take it personal. They might not trust the other person or the person. In this case, it's me. Because I really be like, if I call you out of the blue and be like, "Man, how are you? Like, what's going on? Like, how are you?" Don't shoot me that like, it feels comfortable. Wait, hold on, wait. Y'all know I can't. Y'all be like typing. Y'all know I can't see. Hold on. Okay, that could be true. I just want like, if we shooting the breeze, that's different. But like, if people are legitimately like, I think sometimes people really do want to know though, right? Or is that just me? Is that too far out the bounds? Like, I think when people legitimately like say to you like, "How are you?" and it's like in an uptone and you can hear it, like maybe you're not comfortable with sharing, or they're not. I don't know. It's just, this is like, it can't be long. I got like 3 minutes, y'all. But I just think this is a really great conversation. Like, that we've become so familiar with words to the point where it's like certain words don't even like add up to mean like that people are actually concerned, and you could be like carrying around like all of this stuff, and people are like, "How are you doing?" and then like you'll say, "Oh, I'm fine," and you like, we know we're not fine. But how are you doing is not it can't be like a common question. How are you? How are you? You could be like, "Oh, I'm fine," I guess. But how are you doing is like a different, like, that's a like ever evolving question. Oh, okay. Okay, I can see that too. Thank y'all so much for helping me. Okay, hold on, wait. People ask me. No. See, that's the thing. Okay, so I'm glad you hit that. That's where I was trying to get to. Is that like literally like, if I don't know about everybody else, but like I pray, and in my prayers sometimes like people's names will come up out of nowhere in my prayers. And it's not that we don't have a relationship, but I'm not that person that like talks to people all day long. Like, I don't do that. Like, we can have a relationship and I can be your friend, and I probably haven't talked to you in like 2 or 3 weeks. But it's not that I don't care or we're not busy. It's just that everybody's busy moving around, doing their thing, and whatever. And so sometimes if your name comes across my palate, like in my prayer time, or if I'm praying like randomly throughout the day, I could be in the gym and your name will pop up in my head. I will naturally call you and be like, "Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Is everything good?" And if it's not, I think at that point you should be like, "Bro, I'm so glad you called me, bro. I'm struggling." Or, "Man, like, dang, you hit it." Like, I don't know a better way. I just be like, listen, I love the people. I love people. Okay, I can see that. Y'all are helping me, man. Y'all are helping me. If you call me and ask me how am I doing, and I'm not doing well, I'm just not gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, bro, can I talk to you later?" Or, "Not doing that great," something. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm doing good," and play it off like I'm just doing great. Like, the year of the front is over. Like, we gotta stop fronting. If you're not doing well, like, you're just not doing well. And if somebody calls you or inquires to your being, without people necessarily being nosy, because I do get that some people are nosy, but I think if you could feel that in your spirit when people are being nosy. But if your spirit is so nervous or afraid or tense or tight that you can't even hear when people are necessarily inquiring because they are coming from a good place, that's scary to me. To me, that's scary, that I can't even feel when people are being genuine with me. That I'm so scared about people being, talking, or people, or this or that or the other, that even my spirit is not even open to people legitimately asking questions and like popping up at the right time and saying the right things to me that could probably help or encourage or move my process along or whatever. That's a different kind of, conversation to be had. That's just kind of weird. Hey, Mom. So that was really my question. Like, I guess because I don't ask a lot of questions, that like when I say, "Hey, how are you doing?" or if everything is okay, like I legitimately mean it. But I do know that it floats around a lot, and we do say it as saying like common courtesy. We say it a lot. Best, I'm overwhelmed. Well, okay, no way. You can't type all this because then I got to read it out. Hold on. Find a way that has been taken since most times I feel. Yeah, like people, I think people actually, some people actually do care. Now they might not know how to care. They might not have the proper ways to handle care, but I do think that most people, hold on. Okay. I do think that most people actually do care. You know what I'm saying? But I do think at the end of the day, like for me, if I actually say to you, like, how are you? If I call you and I'm like, hey, how are you? How's everything going? I don't have time to, like, honestly, I don't have time to just shoot the breeze for no reason. Like, personally, excuse me, I'm calling because I actually care. And I want to know how you're doing. And somewhere in my life or in my pattern of thought, your name has popped up and it has been a thing that I have to address. It's like, even if it's just me calling to say, man, what's up? How you doing? And maybe you got something or I got something or maybe something's coming up and we just, you know, whatever it is. I'm not saying it always has to be something wrong. But what I am learning is that most people, when you say that, like, ask people how they're doing, they're just very like, oh, I'm doing great. And they're not doing great. Like, or I'm doing fine. I'm not, you know, you're not fine. I'm not talking about like if you're actually doing fine. But like if some people are like so closed off to like people actually inquiring about their actual physical or mental or spiritual health, that we throw out the same answer when technically like what we need is someone to actually listen or someone to actually talk to. And sometimes that person can be the person who calls you and just be like, hey man, I just want to call to check on you. I know that probably doesn't happen a lot, and I'm maybe because I'm older. I'm 33, so I'm older. But I do actually like talk to people and just randomly like call people like, hey, how are you? Because not that I don't, you know, I be running. So when I actually have time to actually stop and think in people's mind and people's cross my mind, like I actually care about how they're actually doing. You know what I'm saying? What up, Minnie? What up, Chris? What up, Jonathan? Isaac, Anthony, what's up, man? But yeah, so that's all I want to know, man. I'm not gonna be here long. I think if we gotta, I wanted, you know, that was my question. Like when people actually say, "How are you doing?" Is that just a steady answer to give people? Like, "Oh, I'm doing fine." Hold on. Oh, wait. Y'all waiting too much. Yeah, no. I'm not talking about like passing at the grocery store. You know, how are you? Fine. Yeah. You know, how's it been? Fine. How you doing? I can get that. Like if it's in passing, you know, of a grocery store, you're not gonna stop and just start spilling all your guts at the grocery store. But like, I think if there is a point where like if I've seen people or been around people or even been that person earlier in life where like if you asked me how I was doing, like if I could sense whether or not you were actually asking because you cared or because it was like passing moments, right? You don't stop the random man in the store who's like, hey man, how are you? You don't do that. But if people that are calling you that you have some form of relationship with, they have you something and they're asking you legitimately, like, or they're expressing like, hey man, how are you? Like the concern is there. When you say stuff like I'm fine, but you know you're not fine, like to me, like that life of fronting is like we got to get past that, because to me, like you being able to express how you feel to whoever you need to do that to is a part of your mental health and mental sanity. And sometimes I think we walk around carrying stuff in our heads like that we were able to like let go of, or maybe the person that we were talking to that we could have had that conversation with, or we put up our own barriers because we scared people gonna talk or people being nosy or people care. Like that stuff is like, that's for the birds. Like you gotta let that go. Like for me, I can't do that, because to me, if I call and I'm asking, like I'm not gonna spend 30 minutes on the phone trying to decipher what I already know spiritually. I'm just waiting on you to say it. And even at the end of the relationship, I might even say, okay, well, you know, bro, I'm praying for you or something like that because I know something up. But I mean, I'm not no person that's gonna be like, well, the Lord told me, you said. I don't know that. Like, I just know that you might have crossed my mind, or he's put you on my heart some kind of way. And so if I reach out and I'm just talking to you in conversation, I'm actually, you know, I'm like, if I actually say I'm, you know, how are you? I'm actually trying to figure out how you are. And I think we, you know, at the end of the day, man, like, and I've been on here way too long, but at the end of the day, like, people in general, I think have become so desensitized to like true relationships or true friendships or true people asking like, how are you doing? I'm checking on you. I'm making sure you're okay. Like, just because you're a Christian don't mean you don't have any issues, or because you're anything don't mean you don't have any problems. And just because you can own a Fortune 500 company, you can still have problems and all that stuff. So when people are reaching out, y'all, like, I think we have to be more open to legitimate conversations about how we are and how our health is, and not trying to figure out, oh, well, I'm trying to make it right, I'm trying to do it myself. I mean, yeah, you could do it yourself, but it might take you a little longer than if you would have just talked to somebody about it and just been like, hey, bro, this is what's up. Like, I'm struggling over here. Like, there are times, like, even in my life, like, where I'm talking to people because I'm struggling. And my faith sometimes is struggling, or my relationships are struggling, or whatever. But I'm a talker, so I get that. I can talk myself out of some stuff. But I get everybody is not that way. But I think we have to, like, when we're asked, like, when I'm asking questions, I can only speak for me. Like, if I'm asking you questions like, how are you? It ain't because I'm trying to be in your business. I got too much of my own. The Bible says, teach them to mind their own self-business. I want to do that all the time. But I think when we get to that point, man, like, we're not even open to accept people's, like, sincere offer of, like, help or support or legitimate concern. Like, that's scary. That we become so, like, cavalier with everybody that it's just like, oh, you know, they're going to talk about me when they leave, or they're going to say this when they walk off, or blah, blah, blah. Man, who cares? Who cares? Like I say to all, when I was issued, maybe about a couple years ago, man, like, when I was, like, struggling, like, I was struggling hard, like, personally struggling, financially struggling, like, relationships struggling. It was like the rough side of the mountain going up. Sometimes my pride would get in the way, and if y'all know me, y'all know, like, I'm honest with everybody. Like, I only struggle with two things, and one of them is pride. Like, I struggle with pride because I just feel like sometimes when you're that person, like, you don't want to tell people that, like, you having issues, like, you struggling. And I was struggling, man. Like, everything about me was struggling, but I was showing up, smiling, and everything, and I was hug people, but I was struggling. What up, bro? Bless you. I was legitimately struggling, and when people would ask me how I was doing, it was killing me to hold it in. I was dying. People would ask me, oh, man, you need this, and I would swear to God I didn't need nothing, and knew I didn't have it. Man. I remember, like, I can tell y'all, like, honestly, like, go hard truth, bro. Like, my brother Steven is, he's not on here, but y'all know Steven used to live here. When we were throwing our concert, like, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, man, I didn't have no job. I was broke. And it was literally the night before rehearsal, the night of the rehearsal. Long story short, I hadn't even told him I hadn't told him I was struggling. I had kept just, I was, oh, I'm good, y'all, I'm good. And literally I had nothing. When I tell you zero bank, zero, none. And I ain't saying that like, oh, but I got to save. I'm talking about like nothing, like broke. And my brother walked up to me at the rehearsal was over with, bro, and slipped me $100 bill. And I broke down, like I lost it. And everybody was trying to figure out why. He was trying to figure out why. They was trying to figure out why. Everybody was trying to figure out why. Because I don't break. I broke. And I don't know why he gave me that $100 bill. I don't know what sparked him to give me a $100 bill. I don't know if he knew I was struggling and I just didn't want to say I was struggling. Like, I don't know. But he gave me that $100 bill and I lost it. Because I had no money. None. And then I began, like, literally, like, that night we went to eat. And I paid or whatever the next day where I was talking to him, and I just started telling him, like, man, this is what I'm dealing with. Like, I'm struggling, boom, 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 boom. After I let all that out, that concert happened that night or the next day or whatever, literally stuff just started rolling, man. Like, it just started rolling. Jobs started to come in. This started to happen. That started to happen. I started moving. Stuff started shaking. I was like, dang, man, maybe it was just the release of all of that energy that open me up to be more open to hearing other stuff. So, like, if you are like that person, like if you're struggling, if you on this live, and I don't know if you will see this after, if you even get to the end of this video, and I didn't get on here for that because I actually got on here because I was asking a legitimate question about people asking how you doing, and we just kind of blow it off if we know we're struggling. But let me say this, and I'm going to the gym. If you are struggling, like literally, if you're struggling, like in your walk, in your whatever, like when people ask you how you're doing, what up, bro? Hey, we need to link up, man. Like we're on the ballot together and other stuff, and I don't even think we. Anyway, we need to link up, man. Jay. Yeah, like when people ask you, man, like how you doing, we are not immune to all these things that are happening to us in life. And I'm not saying that you need to walk around spreading your business to everybody, but I am saying that you need to find someone you can talk to. If random things are happening and people that don't normally ask you how you doing are now asking you how you doing, it's because there is something that's happening here that people can feel and get from you. And if that's not your norm, then they should be asking you how you doing. That means something about you is off. Something about me was off. It's not just, it's us. Like, that's what we do. So, man, like, look, honestly, I'm done. But y'all don't do that. Like, if people are asking you how you doing, and you find somebody that's like legitimately listen to the tone in their voice, look at their history, look at how they treated you, look at that kind of stuff, and you can weigh that out, but don't carry that kind of crap. And people are literally walking around here, man, like we are the hands and feet of Jesus. If you're on here and you're a believer, you believe that. Like our job is to bear the infirmity of the weak. And we got to be able to do that in a way that doesn't make people feel like, oh, what up, man? You funny. That don't make, man, listen, we are not in it because to listen, there but for the grace of God go us all. And whether I'm up today and I'm carrying you today and tomorrow I'm down and you carrying me, or maybe we both down and we dragging each other up the hill, I don't care how it works, but sitting in your own pocket trying to make it work for yourself, not the way it works. And because we're on the eve of Easter, all that grace that God has given us, there is nothing you can do, nothing you have done, nothing you ever will do that God's grace has not already covered. So the only thing you dealing with now is your ego and a sense of guilt. And you can get past all that by just opening up and talking to somebody. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing you do lasts forever. Like, it's okay. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. And there are no big mistakes and little mistakes, but some are heavier than others. And when people are opening up and people are asking you how you doing, man, it don't make you less of a person to say I'm struggling. It makes you human. And real talk, y'all stop acting like you're not human. It's real. We are real people. And we laugh and we joke about it so much, but like we real. We want to be real at any other time except for when we struggling. I'm real out here in these streets. I'm a real whatever. But then you real over there, real struggling and won't say nothing. Like your blessings are coming at you. But if you don't open your mouth and say, hey, this is where I am, nobody knows that you need anything until you need it. And all of us legitimately are babies. Like we are babies. And the only way you know that a kid is hungry, then pooped, then something, is they start to act different. They start to cry. They start to move. You can't keep walking around here and you know you full of poop and act like other people can't tell. Because even if that baby don't cry, you can smell it. And some of us, we not crying, but we can smell it. It's coming across in our attitudes. It's coming across in our demeanors. It's coming across in our dispositions, how we handle people. No, you not crying physically, but we can smell it. So at the end of the day, like, don't make people go through all that just to change your stupid diaper. Maybe you need somebody to change your stupid diaper. That's so dumb. But you get the point. All right, I'm going to the gym. I love y'all. Stick with me. Follow me on Instagram. And I'm glad you're on here on social media. Yeah, it will kill you. But we can't do that because y'all going to keep you on here longer than I need to be on here. So, follow me on Instagram. If you haven't got the music, please go get the music. If you got something going on at your church, reach out to me. Let's book it. Let's figure out. We can have these honest conversations with each other. We can have the honest conversations with each other. We are the hands and the feet of Jesus. And I don't care how much you shout. I don't care how much you go to church. I don't care how much you in Easter and you doing all this stuff. If Jesus died and his blood covered you and you not extending that grace to somebody else, you're wrong. And grace is needed by all of us. Believe it or not. There but for the grace of God go us all. So, I'm off. I love y'all because y'all know I'll keep talking. Reach out to somebody, man. If you praying today and God put somebody on your heart, reach out to that person. Even if they don't respond the way you want them to, reach out to them, love on them, tell them you're praying for them, tell them you love them. Open yourself up. If you that person that's so closed off and you scared that everybody's out to get you, ain't nobody out to get you, open up your heart. Open up your heart. Somebody's gonna call. Somebody gonna call you. Somebody gonna say something to you, and you gonna have an opportunity to speak your truth. And if you pass that opportunity, it's nobody's fault but your own. It's nobody's fault because God's going to give you the opportunity to speak your truth. And if you need to come and speak your truth and just however you feeling at the moment, if you anxious, if you got some anxiety, all that stuff, I pray that stuff away from you today. I pray that your heart is open. I don't care what did happen to you in the past. It won't last too long. I promise you there are still good people out here in this world. Believe it or not. We might not always respond the right way. That don't mean we ain't good people. There's good people out here. All right, I'm going to work out. I love y'all. See y'all later. Goodbye.